So y'all can talk because y'all got some people clicking on.
First of all, you didn't even tag me in the live, bro.
I did.
Hold on. It didn't pop up.
I got 20 people. I got 28 people.
Yeah. It didn't show up. It's on a DNA page or Andy Lee. Andy Lee.
Yeah. Hold on. I see it now. I'm gonna do it right now. Got you right now. You ready?
Mm-hmm. Hey guys, thanks for
hanging out. We're still here. We're still here with RedzSpice and Rockman live in the studios.
Hey guys.
What up, Facebook, YouTube? We up in the house. We up in the building.
So,
I have a question for Rock. You guys get a minute.
Well, let him give another intro again for the new viewers that are tuning in.
Oh, where's that note? Here it is, Rock, right here.
Thank you.
At the bottom, the other side.
All right, so like I said, this is your boy Rock. I host the show. To be true to yourself takes courage. It requires you to be introspective, sincere, open-minded, and fair. It does not mean that you're inconsiderate or disrespectful of others. It just means that you will not let others define you or make decisions for you that you make for yourself.
Rock has a new program down here. It's called Be You. Be You is a program hosted by the man himself, Rock. And we deal with the SGL, same gender loving community. You'll probably know it as the gay community or the LGBT community. But in the new black community, they're calling it SGL, same gender loving. And he's a host of the new program. We're not calling it a show because he's not here to perform. It's a program, and it's called Be You. Could you read that one more time and just slow it down this time, please, Rock?
Yes, the Be You program on DNA Radio. Guest starring your host, Rockman. I'll be talking about things to be true to yourself, and it takes a lot of courage to stand up and show people who you really are.
So I have a question.
No questions. Talk to my lawyer.
My question is for Rock.
Oh,
not DNA. You can answer. I just don't understand why y'all are like switching the name, kind of same gender loving.
Okay, ask yourself this question, my dear RedzSpice.
Mm-hmm.
Where did this name "gay"
I don't know. From? I don't know.
You ask any gay, they don't know either. So this is my theory. I had this theory for years. Now I want you guys to visualize this, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about the 1960s. What was going on in the 1960s? You had the Civil Rights Movement, and then 1966 you had the Black Panther Movement, the Black Revolutionary organizations demanding equality, let's say, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I am nobody's historian when it comes to anything, but this is just my take on all this. So I can, okay, shout out to Start Out. I know some of you guys are probably listening. You might not like my answer, but what's up to you guys? Anyway, this is my opinion. I've been saying this for years, almost 30 plus years. I can imagine in 1969 when they had this, what was it called? Stonewall Rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, okay, in the Stonewall bar, which is run by the mafia, the Italian Jewish mafia ran the bar, then the Gambinos ran it.
Mm-hmm.
You had blacks, Latinos, and a few whites.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the Irish cops, NYPD, are now raiding the bar. It's all true story. It's not DNA making that true story. They raid the bar for the umpteenth time, but this time the blacks and the Latinos decide, I had enough. We're not taking this BS anymore, and they start rebellion. It wasn't a riot, it was a rebellion. And then, of course, after probably I think it was a 3 or 4 day rebellion, after the rebellion, in my opinion, there was no organization after that. Okay, we did our 4 days of quote unquote rioting, for lack of a better word, or rebelling. So the whites who were probably a little better organized than the black gay community in '69. Just visualize this in 1969. If we're not organized in 2019, you can imagine how unorganized we were in 1969. So those few whites who were organized, the Jews and the Italians and the Irish at the time who were organized, I guess I can visualize they're sitting around drinking tea, probably on a Sunday, right? And they're trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to call our organization? What are we going to call ourselves? We don't want to be called sissies. We don't want to be called faggots anymore. We don't want to be called a bunch of weirdos. What are we going to call ourselves? Somebody probably came up with the word, let's call ourselves gay. And then that sounds great. We're always happy anyway. You ever go to a gay bar or gay club? Everybody over there happy, having fun?
No.
You never been? Okay. You missed life. So they decided to call themselves gay, G-A-Y. And then, of course, they had probably more money at the time to put this into motion. This is DNA's theory now. So they decided to call this whole new rebellion, this whole new movement. Thank you, Rob. And they called it the gay movement. Then the females said, well, what about us? We're not gay. We're lesbos. What about us? So, okay, let's include the lesbians. So it was gay, lesbian, gay, however it was. Then eventually, however the history goes.
They added mad other letters.
Yeah, they added other letters. They changed the entire history. They took out the blacks. They took out the Latinos who were actually fighting for respect.
Hold on. So the SGL is more so.
Well, let me come out. I'm going to come to that.
Okay.
I'm just getting to that point. I'm not going to take all day. But anyway, so you have these whites who decided. See, if you don't write your own history, people come to my office and they say, "What are all those boxes, DNA?" This is history. This is rap and hip hop history. It's DNA's history going back to 1976 before rock was born. That's
definitely before my time.
So this is all history. Because if you don't document your history, someone else will. So we're documenting history. So we didn't document what was going on in '69 about the black. We were just asking for freedom. We weren't even thinking about what's going to happen 50 years from now. So the Irish, Italians, and the Jews started to organize and start documenting history. And then they started changing the history. Doggone well, in 1969, no white boys were fighting for rebellion. In 1969, they were all too high. If they were hippies, they were probably getting too high. It was only the Black Panther movement, the Young Lords, Spanish at the Young Lords, the blacks at the Black Panthers. Those were the only ones fighting the Irish cops in '69. But because we didn't control the conversation, now 50 years later, they're telling a whole new story that they were out there fighting the rebellion. They even had this blonde, blue-eyed guy from Iowa as the superhero. There's a movie out there. He was the superhero. He came out allegedly, right? Not allegedly that I'm saying this, is that they made it all up. They're saying he came all the way from Iowa and he became the hero because he threw the first rock at the cops, which is a lie. It was the blacks and the Latinos in the Stonewall Bar doing the fighting, but because we weren't organized, we didn't control the narrative. So the whites, the Irish, the Italians, and the Jews, they controlled the narrative in '69, '70, '71 until the present, 50 years later, and that's the reason why we think they were the ones fighting at Stonewall, and the word gay came from them. Yeah, they come from the black community. So right up to today, I started hearing about same-gender loving probably, let's say, 10 years ago. I think the guy name was, I can't even pronounce it. His name is Cleo, C-L-E-O. I think he's from Compton, living in Washington, D.C. He's like a journalist. I think he coined the phrase. He has an organization that's on our website. It's on Andy Lee, not website, excuse me. It's on our Facebook page, Andy Lee Facebook page. It doesn't document the history, but it has some information about his organization. I think it's called BMX, Black Men Exchange, BMX, something like that. But anyway, Cleo coined the phrase, and to me it makes more sense because I'm not gay, but I am a same-gender loving person.
But weren't you gay all these years?
No.
You didn't identify with that word.
Naively, yes. Naive, and I was naive. Okay. I know this conversation is not about me, but I'm just trying to
okay, I get it.
I'm going to explain.
I'm just trying to understand why.
When I was young, I know nothing about no gay. I knew I like young guys like me. If I'm 12 and my friend's 12, I'm liking my friend. Okay, we didn't have no titles. You know what I'm saying? We just like each other. I've heard the term guys calling guys faggots. You know, my so-called straight friends calling somebody else a faggot. Why you're so consumed about this person who's not bothering you? Why are you even picking on them? You know what I'm saying? So I've heard the term sissy. I mean, even my preacher used to call people sissies. I'm sure today it still do it in the church. They call people sissies, and half the choir is probably full of them. I'm not dissing the churches. I'm just saying. So they used. I heard the term sissies. I heard the term faggot. I heard the term queer, but I didn't identify with none of that. But when the word gay came around, I was probably like, say 20. Well, that sounds a nice little title to be, you know. So why not? I'm gay. You know what I'm saying? But then when I thought about it years later, I'm saying, why am I putting this label on me? You know, I'm gay. Okay, I love black men, but I'm not always happy.
Okay.
Well, you definitely standing up for yourself and showing that you don't identify as that, because those are, I guess you could say, societal norms, and that's how they feel. Again, because maybe if maybe if they traverse down that path, maybe that's how it would equal for them.
And it's not a diss to them. It's not a diss to the LGBT community, because you got to be called something, I suppose. If the straight's going to call themselves straight, you got to be called something.
Well, I'm talking more in league with people who came up with those terms. Who
I like the 305 guys. The 305 guys who were sitting in the room on a Sunday drinking tea, who came up with the term, and the guy who designed the flag. You know, and I'm not bashing them. I'm just saying, where is our voice? Where's the black community's voice? You know, we have no voice. I mean, we're not going to throw any stones, Rob, but I go to different meetings, different gay organizations, and there's always the majority of white guys. And there's nothing against the white guys. Nothing. I got white neighbors, white gay neighbors. There's no hate. This is not about hate. These are just questions I have. We do have organizations too, but like Rock and I were talking, most of the organizations are not for masculine black men. There are hardly any organizations for masculine black men. We love our feminine black brothers and sisters, quote unquote.
Well, I think that's more in league with, like I said again, because of the way people identify in the stereotype, like, because it's a whole bunch of negative stereotype and stigma attached that nobody wants to really stand up and say, hey, look, that doesn't define me. I don't fall in that. You know, the only thing we share is maybe the choices of same gender. That's it. Nothing more.
Well, I mean, we're not the only ones who desire black, beautiful men. I mean, you have white guys who want to sex them also, I'm sure, and wouldn't bring them home to mama, but they would definitely want to suck a big black dick once in a while, I'm sure.
That's a little crude, but yeah, more or less you're right, though. No, but I ain't going to sugarcoat it. You're right.
I say a lot in my day, trust me. I'm sure most women won't turn on a nice big black dick.
But again, there's just more to it than just that. And like I said, it just gets pretty dramatic when people just come up to their own conclusions as to what it could be or what it means. And that goes from anybody, whether they're heterosexual, bisexual, gay, straight, down low, etc.
When you hear the term, that's a good point, Rob. When you hear the term, let's go to Wiz and RedzSpice.
What's up?
When you hear the term black pride, what do you visualize in that term, black pride? Black pride. What do you think when you hear that term?
Proud black people.
Yeah.
Okay.
All shades of colors, like just proud.
Okay. Good point. But I think the black community took that. Like, you know, you have gay pride, so they didn't want to be called we're gay pride. What about our black pride? Because we were not. It's so complicated. Gay pride has just almost erased black people out of the whole
running.
The whole whatever. You know what I'm saying?
But why do y'all feel like that?
It's like we talk about America.
Cause this is my thing, right? I have friends that are gay and they
white, black, Latino?
No, black, and they say gay pride all the time. That's why I'm a little confused. Like, I don't know, why do y'all feel like they X the black community?
Well, see, because there are very few black gay leaders. Remember I said black first. I didn't say gay black leaders. I said black gay leaders. You're always black first before you be identified as your oh, he's black. Then they find out later on you're gay. So you're always black first. And those people sometimes say I'm gay, then I'm black. No, you're black first. You're not gay first. You're black first. But anyway, there are very few black gay leaders. Okay, we only had a few back in the 60s probably. Why do I keep forgetting my brother's name? He used to go to the same high school, but probably 20 years apart. Oh, I did it again. I had his name on the tip of my tongue a few seconds ago. It just escaped me. He was a writer. He's a writer. Come on, help me.
I don't know him.
He's a legend. He's like Dr. King. He's like Malcolm X. He was back in those days, and he was like speaking for us. Okay, I know of Baron Rustin. That's one. But the other one, I'm always forgetting his name. That's a shame. He's one of my heroes. We're moving right along. The gays you're talking about that might be your friends, that are your friends, all they know is what they're told. You know what I'm saying? Coke is it.
Or better yet, where they identify closely, that doesn't speak for everybody else.
Come on,
they're just a small demographic of people that fulfill certain criteria as to how they want to live life according to being in this particular lifestyle or same gender loving. That's their choice.
Rock is so deep sometimes that I get lost. He's just such a philosopher. Could you break it down and make it a little bit? Malcolm X always said, make it plain. I mean, sometimes I make things confusing myself, so I know it's not that easy to make.
Well, again, if you look at homosexuality as a whole, again, just because.
You know how they ever use that term ever? Well,
that's really where it falls under. I mean,
you think about those psychiatrists, psychologists, whatever they call themselves. I always ask the question. I'm talking too loud. I always ask the question. Even when I was a kid in school, I was like, where did this come from? Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Who has the proof? You know what I'm saying? I was always asking these questions as a young kid. So I'm wanting to think, okay, you have these PhDs, right? Oh, let's call it homosexuality because homo means same and they're sexual. So I guess they're homos and they're sexuals. Oh, homosexuality. Oh, let's call it, bisexual. Oh, they like more than one, two, okay, bi. Think about where these terms come from. So when you just jump on it and say, oh, it's homosexual. Okay, who coined the phrase? Where did it come from?
Well, usually when you say like broad statements like that, people tend to identify and know exactly what you're talking about. So you say that, they know that.
I was trying to understand. We say same to the love. What's that? Because it's a new.
Well, that's a better way to help understand and break it down. That it still means the same thing. Not many people know the acronym LGBTQ and stuff.
I don't even know all of them.
Well, we know it because we get training in it at work. They train us to know.
Now they have organizations where they can teach people and educate people of how, like I said, it's really about self-identification, how that individual decides to identify themselves and where they fall. And we all fall in the spectrum.
Well, since I'm sure because both presidents of the city council were gay, quote unquote. First you had Kristen Quinn, a white Irish lesbian, and then you have the other gentleman who's there now. I actually know his name, but I don't remember his name right now. He's the president of the city council. So I'm assuming they're making sure that all the city workers will respect that community, which is good. You know what I'm saying? It should.
Well, it came in handy for like transgender and stuff like that, like how to speak to people, like if you don't know how to address them
respectfully.
Right.
Which I agree. I think it's beautiful. I mean, it's about time. I'm sorry. You continue.
Oh yeah, no, that's basically what I was saying. The training came in handy, and you had to deal with certain issues, certain situations.
Because I'm sure in the past, a lot of city workers were very disrespectful. I'm sure from the. Well, even before your time,
it's not necessarily disrespectful when you don't know.
Maybe ignorance. They just didn't
Why have to be ignorant? You just don't know.
Well, that's what it means to be ignorant. You look at the dictionary.
I get it, but I felt attacked just now.
Oh no, not you. I said before your time.
Okay, but yeah, we don't know how to address
James Baldwin.
certain things.
That's it. Just came back to me.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
Oh,
James Baldwin, one of my heroes in the black gay community. Even though he had a white boyfriend, I ain't mad at him. I guess he couldn't find.
So you're not here for mixing up the races?
Like George Wallace said in 1960, I think it was, George Wallace, a dirty, filthy, low-down, racist, segregationist he was the governor of Alabama. Oh, he was a low, filthy dog. He's worse than J. Edgar Hoover, but they might be equally burning and held together.
That sounds like the lowest of the low to me.
And George Wallace said, segregation now, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever. That's how you talk. Segregation now, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever.
So that's how you feel.
He was the governor of Alabama. I'll say Alabama's low southern racist, old dirty, filthy, low-down dog. He was a pig. Oh, I just insulted the pigs. Sorry, pigs. He was the lowest of the low. So he said that, and it makes sense for that. It makes sense to me. Okay, we have ours. They have theirs. We're all equal. Hey, no problem with that.
Okay.
But I know. This is my opinion. And there's listen to all my associates who were at the meeting this week. We're not trying to beat you in the head. You guys are very nice to us. We're not beating you in the head. We're just talking about history, and I'm speaking truth to power. Okay, that's why they get mad at Malcolm X. That's why they get mad at Farrakhan. He speaks truth to power. Don't get mad. I'm just telling it like it is. I believe many whites desire black males for sex only.
Don't forget the women.
Well, that's not my specialty, so you might have to think about that. So okay, we'll have sex with you people, but we don't want to basically give you equal anything. We'll just have sex with you. You can't work with me and make $100,000 the way I do. But I would love to suck those big old black balls. I would love that they go into my booty hole. I know I'm not saying me. I'm just mimicking what they might say. And I'm not. I know they're probably gonna throw eggs at me. They say at the meeting. Hey, there he is. Get him, go. Anyway, Rock, you were there. You know what I'm talking about, right? You were at the meeting. So, and they were very nice to us, very nice people.
Yeah.
But they probably don't know, that's the DNA. We heard about you, so that's him. Anyway, I'm boring these straight people over here. Wiz over here playing.
I mean, we're listening.
Wiz is playing Tetra.
No, because you made me laugh. What are you talking about? I'm like, no.
Why did I make you laugh?
We're listening.
She asked some questions.
No,
James
I'm also looking at
Baldwin was my
Facebook.
hero, James Baldwin. Okay, back over to RedzSpice and Rock. My mouth is temporarily closed.
Pause.
I like that. Pause. No homo, right? Pause.
No homo.
Well,
I don't. Go ahead.
I was about to say, do you have anything to add on to this or?
Add on?
All this is new to her. She's like,
yeah,
I
just have questions. I don't know if.
Well, there's some. I'm sure there's some of our fans out there that pretty much have the same idea in their mind.
I just don't know
what to know.
Yeah, like I'm just.
Well, I kind of get the feeling that most people have like a textbook or stereotype example as to what this all entails, and that it's basically all the same. So they kind of like put everybody in the same category. But again,
I don't know if what I want to say is like disrespectful or not.
I mean, anything is good. It's good. You ask questions. There's never a bad question.
You can't go worse than my sisters, plural. You can't go worse than my preachers, plural. So go on.
But there's always good questions to ask, and it's never it's never a wrong thing to ask a question, no matter how you do it, because that's how you learn things.
We'll press the pause button.
I have a question. No, I'm gonna ask it. No, I'm gonna ask it. I'm gonna ask it.
Doesn't mean you have to answer it now.
That's fine too. You can decline to answer it, right?
Oh, wait, 1 second. Rock, get that button behind there and say, that was easy. That was easy. That's fun. Right by that monitor, please.
Okay, so my question is.
He can't hear you.
He can't hear me. He's sitting right here.
Oh, okay.
He's right here.
Exactly.
Rock, I'll take it. Rock.
Oh my.
So
goodness.
my question is, how often, if you're in a relationship, same gender loving, I'm talking men.
Well, that sounds so. Say how it came out from her lips. Same gender loving sounds so respectful.
Okay.
That sounds so beautiful.
So elegant. So
yes. Yes. What you said.
How often do you guys have sex?
Again, it depends on the individual. No different than a heterosexual individual.
There's no difference.
It's we pick and choose, no different than, you know, if you're a woman trying to look for a man and you have a specific type of man, you have a mind that's right for you, or vice versa for a man looking for a woman, you know.
Because whenever I think of same gender loving men relationships, I just think it is painful. So I'm like, how often do you have sex? Because I'm just thinking it's painful.
Well, I mean, like I said, there's different categories, just like you have asexual people, period, and they exist in our culture as well too. And if, you know, nobody communicates to talk about these things, you won't know what's what, and you might end up in a situation that really wasn't right for you.
It's not always about the sex either.
No.
It's just more about.
I couldn't tell, DNA. I couldn't tell. Go ahead.
Why? Why you? I mean,
That was easy.
Okay.
what do you mean you couldn't tell? I want to answer a question.
I couldn't tell. I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Well, I mean, most of us, for, you know, I'll use myself as an example. Most of us feel like no different. We can have the spiritual, mental, physical connection, no different than, you know, if women were predominantly still my choice. You know, again, but it varies with each individual and where they feel they fit on that spectrum.
Because Rock, you did say that when you look for a woman, you look for the femininity, right?
Yes,
But then
absolutely.
the men, you cannot have femininity.
No, I'm not really, you know, it's not wrong for you. Like I said, that's why this program is called Be You. And I would definitely like to say, you know, for people in our community, sometimes there's hatred among us too, especially with, you know, some of the masculine and the feminine guys. They, you know, but I'm going to talk about a topic like that eventually, where I could get into, you know, better details.
Yeah, believe it or not, RedzSpice, there is discrimination within the same gender loving community, which is predominantly the Black community. Then there's discrimination within the gay community, which is predominantly the white community. There is discrimination. You know what I'm saying?
Like how though?
Okay.
Oh, shame, you know, hate, or like, for instance, like if you get turned down, if somebody, a certain type of guy, you know, approaches you and you turn them down, they take it some kind of way and they get real funky with it.
Like y'all be having a fight?
No, not.
No, sometimes it could turn that way, and that's the worst case
We're not
scenario.
going-
But for the most part, certain things be said, and, you know, a certain line of disrespect, and depending on the person, somebody might have like a low self-esteem about themselves because they used to always somebody tell them, "Oh, do this," or "This is how you're supposed to do that." And for the most part, a lot of us choose, you know, this lifestyle because of freedom from what we were told that we're supposed to be, or, you know, to fight what we feel naturally inside of us.
Okay.
See, I keep, let me ask Wiz and RedzSpice a question, excuse me. Do you guys have a life or do you have a lifestyle? Do you live a life or do you live a lifestyle?
I live a life.
I live a life.
See, that's the situation that's the situation I'm always having. That's the discussion I'm always having with other same gender loving Black men and even gay men. Our life is not a style. It's not a lifestyle. It's a life. And I had this discussion with one of my associates, like I said before. I don't agree with your lifestyle. I had to correct them. Excuse me. I don't have a lifestyle. I have a life. You know?
But I think what they meant is like maybe the choices
they said they meant they were trying to diss. They were trying to say, say, I don't agree with you men having blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those diss. This was a straight guy trying to diss. And then when I put him in his place, he said, "Oh, okay, I see you. Oh, interesting. You're no different than me. He said, I like titties. You like whatever you like."
That's your choice.
Oh, getting back to her question in regards to Cain, right? Now, I think I told this story before. It's so funny. I'm probably 18 or 19 years old. I'm in Midtown Manhattan, down in the Times Square area. This is years ago, 40 years ago, right? And I see this big.
Oh, that was. Oh. Go ahead. I'm sorry. No. I thought I was doing something and I messed up. That was me. Okay.
Oh, I was like,
it's the same.
Just X out of there.
It's the same machine. What do you guys got? Freaks on camera with it?
No.
What's going on? Wait a while. No. I was downtown. I seen this big old marquee, you know, like movie theater marquee, and big lights.
oh yeah, I remember this.
It said Big Tops. Big Tops. Well, that's a dumb name for a company. You know, Big Tops. What a dumb name. And then probably 40 years later, I understood what they meant. I said, "Oh, that's what they meant. Big Tops," because just like most straight women do not put on strap-ons, do they?
Oh, definitely not.
Right. So they're basically the receiver. Is that the case? Is that the case?
That is
right.
that is a fact.
So when the business was promoting big tops, they were talking about in this movie theater you're going to find big tops. Big tops. Get it? Okay. Jeez, I lost her. I know.
Are you talking about bottoms and tops?
Yes.
Okay.
See, I used to hate those terms. I used to, oh, it sounds disgusting.
I still do, but they are necessary in certain situations.
I understand it much
So
better.
what do y'all call it? No. What do y'all call it? Go ahead.
I'm going to answer that question. It was always confusing to try to explain whatever. So to me, it sounded like, and it's not a disrespect to I keep telling them, apologizing to my white associates out there because it's like I'm always bashing them, but I'm not bashing them. But I know from they have preconceived notions about black people, straight and gay. Oh no, they have their own preconceived notions about all black people. You know, I have my preconceived notions about white gay men, and to me, they were always into this weirdness. You know, they'll walk around with the leather and all kinds of weirdness. That was in my mind, so I never want to be associated sexually with those kind of people. They're not my kind of people. So when I heard the term big tops, top, bottom, I always said that was a white nigga thing. I would never be associated with stuff like that. And then later on in life, probably 10 years ago, right? I said, oh, it makes sense. It now makes sense. People, it makes life so much easier. A person's either a top or they're either a bottom. They're either the giver, a top, or they're the receiver, a bottom.
So what do y'all call it? Because you say you still don't like it.
Well, I don't like it because, like, for the most part, when certain individuals of that caliber approach me, they approach with that mindset, and I don't think with that mindset. I don't get with men because I want to be a top or I want to be a bottom. I can enjoy a good time without having to resort to that form of sex.
Exactly.
There's plenty of other avenues to exhibit and enjoy about sex, and it seems like those particular type of men, I'm not gonna.
So is it because you're versatile, like you do either or?
I wouldn't even call it that. I just say it in the sense
we don't like labels. We're just men.
No, because versatile means that there still has to be some type of penetration going on, where I could function without penetration existing. Period.
Not saying.
And that seems to throw a lot of a lot of people get upset because I happen to fall in that because they find me attractive. They hope that could be a choice so that they could exhibit what they would like to experience from me.
Okay. DNA, what do you call it?
Well, because I just adapted the terms most recently, the last 10 years, because it makes sense. I remember, I think I told the story before. When I was like 13 years old, my brother just came back from Vietnam, right? And I used to love baseball. I was a baseball fanatic. I lived and died baseball. I lived whatever, how you say that stuff, right? So I didn't have girlfriends, didn't have boyfriends. I just had baseball. So when he came back from Vietnam, and I'm 13 years old, he goes, "Oh, where's your girlfriend?" I'm going, "Oh, I don't deal with girls." He goes, "You don't deal with girls?" I go, "No, I don't deal with girls." So either you deal with girls or you deal with guys. And I said, "Oh, you mean to tell me life is that simple? Life is that simple? You deal with guys or girls? Oh, okay, I understand life now." So when it comes to tops and bottoms, I understand why people use those terms. You're either a top for the most part, or you're either a bottom. Like you said, versatile, then you have versatiles, So I don't have no problem no more with that term. Before I had a problem with it, Like I had a problem with segregation before, but now I have no problem with segregation. I believe in segregation now, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever. Why can't we have our own community? I wish the black community still had Harlem. I wish.
DNA just ignored the question.
What was the question?
Yeah.
What do you call it now?
I just said I adapt. To me, it's okay to use. I have no problem with it.
Oh, so you use that terminology.
Well, okay. I'm a businessman. So I used to promote events for my community. And people will call me up to say, "How many tops are there? How many bottoms are there?"
Oh my goodness.
Do you think I would answer them?
They be raw with
Do
that.
you think I would answer them? Because I told them the house is full.
Well, I mean,
Wait.
isn't it like the same thing if I'm throwing a party and somebody asks me, well, how many guys is there and how many girls is there? Isn't it
Like,
like
who's calling you, girl or guy?
It doesn't matter.
No, it does matter.
Okay, so let's say a girl calls and it's like, well, how many dudes is in there? It's the same thing. They
all
want
girls, no dudes. What happened? You lost that customer, right? She's not coming. It's
Oh,
all
yeah.
girls. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if I tell the customer on the telephone,
it's
it's a house full of bottoms.
It's only 2 bottoms.
No.
And
It's
they
a
looking
house
for
full,
tops.
it's a house full of bottoms, and they're a bottom.
A lot of gay men they hate that idea, that notion. They know that you definitely.
So
They
you
don't switch. They don't like.
No, it gotta be extreme circumstances, and even then, they really don't want to do it. They you know.
Well, there's no real rules. It's an individual type thing. So let me explain. Yes.
So do tops get penetrated too?
See, there's no, in my book, there's no rules. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, I had a little note right here, but it's my sloppy handwriting. I wrote it nice and neat. I think I'm gonna send it out. I wish I could bring you an email. I emailed it to everybody, but I can't find the email. But it was nice. Well, so okay, I wanted to say here real quick. This is not a radio program to give away any of our, not mine, but I'm not nobody's DL, to give away any of our DL or same gender loving secrets, right?
What?
No.
What?
No. BU, hosted by Rock, is not a program to give away any type of secrets and stuff.
No.
That's not the purpose of this program. The program is here. BU, the program. This is not referring to none of your questions you asked. I'm just making this point. Because we don't want to sound like no Wendy Williams on TMZ or no PageSix. We don't want to sound like that.
And we definitely not trying to out
We're
nobody.
men. We don't go around gossiping and doing stupid stuff like that. That's not in our blood. So this program BU is here to help, support, and to uplift the same gender loving community. That's what this program is about. We're not here to talk about tops. We're not here to bash bottoms, because they're all part of the community. So that's not the part. No, it's not directed towards you.
I know it's not.
You gave
All
me
I'm
that.
doing
You gave
is
me that.
asking questions.
And those are beautiful, intelligent questions.
Okay.
I'm just making it clear so the listeners, they might think we're one of those Queenie Deanies. No, this is not Queenie Deanies. They might think we're one of those Queenie Deanies who's here to talk about gossip. This is not what this program is about. We're here to uplift our beautiful, gorgeous black men. That's what we're here for. We're here to support them, to uplift them, and maybe have an orgy with them. I'm sorry. I went off script. Sorry. Okay, back on script. Sorry. You hear the paper? I'm reading from my script. So, to answer your question, I wanted to say, this show is not a super head tell-all. We're not about that here on BU. Will you agree, Rock?
Absolutely. We just here to enlighten people, shed some light on certain subjects, and empower, people within our community, and hopefully make a believer and or impact in other communities, so they know that there's different, variations of who we are as people who deal with the same gender.
Well, see, that's a good point. I mentioned earlier, the question was, what do you guys think about Black Pride? Now, there's this organization out of Brooklyn. They call themselves Straight Black Pride, because they're saying that the gay community, the black gay community, has stolen the word. They stole the word Black Pride. This is them speaking. They said the black gay community, using that term to make it easy for you people out there to understand.
If you use that, I don't think black gay people. I don't think that. I think Black Pride in general.
Power to people like that, right?
Yeah.
That's what it was in the 60s and 70s. But somehow, because you have gay pride, you have to follow me on this. They had gay pride because we had Black Pride in the 60s and 70s. So then the gays, what about us? We got pride too, so we became gay pride. But the gay pride became white gay pride, not all gay pride. It became white gay pride. So the blacks separated themselves and said, no, we're Black Pride. And then the straights, just recently, probably the last 3 to 5 years, they said, hey, how do you take the name Black Pride? We want to be Straight Black Pride. So they're fighting against their own black brothers for no apparent reason by purposely putting the word straight in front of Black Pride. We're not saying, when we say Black Pride, we're saying Black Pride for the whole entire black community.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that the gays, because at one time, blacks washed their hands. So, okay, we assimilated. We now got good jobs with whatever. We don't need to be black anymore. We're people of color. We're people of color. We don't need to be black anymore. Why all this black? Like that dumb witch, Wendy Williams, talking about why do we need black universities? Remember she said that a couple of months ago? Why do we need black universities? Are you stupid, Wendy Williams? We still need black people.
So
I don't watch her either. I just heard you seen on Facebook.
I can't take her. I can't stand her.
So they see many blacks. I'll take it back. Some blacks thought we don't need to talk about black anymore. I remember, and I'm just all over the place, so you gotta forgive me. I remember I met this cutie, and I was talking about the Black Panthers. Man, the Black Panthers been gone years ago. Wake up and face reality. Now we need the Black Panthers today. I read on Facebook, I don't know if it's fake news or not. They said a young black man was hung in Mississippi last week.
Oh, I didn't see that yet.
It's on our Andy Lee Facebook page. So if the Ku Klux Klan still exists, where's our Black Panthers to offset these racist pigs, especially the one in the White House? And he's not the only one. I keep saying this to everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, if Donald Trump comes from New York, and New York is the most liberal city in this country, Donald Trump comes from here, you think Donald Trump is the only racist coming from New York?
Oh, we know that. We know that's not the case.
Exactly. So we have all these racists in the United States. Where's our counter to the racists? We have none. We used to have the Black Panthers that lasted less than 10 years because the United States government killed them, most of them off, or threw them in jail. There is no counter to the racists. What took place in Charlottesville in North Carolina. We should have had a black army down there. And if I knew there was one, I probably would have been down there at my age, fighting for you young people.
That was easy.
That was easy.
So
I'm taking over a rock show. Sorry, rock.
yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
I'm about to go.
Yes.
It's time to go. No,
It is time to go. Y'all should have told me I was staying later. I didn't know.
But rock on. You know what I'm saying?
Right. We have to do 9:30, so Nate speaks until at 9:30.
Because you're doing a good job. You just wanted to warm you up.
Definitely. I'm hoping to make an impact and do more as we speak, you know.
You did good. You know, be you.
Be you, ladies and gentlemen. Whoever you are, be you.
I am. Thank
And you
you.
want to open
Thank you very
doors.
much.
Because there's a platform that somebody, you know, who's scared to come out the closet because they, you know.
Oh, I have some friends that just came out to me not too long ago.
Yeah.
Where is this closet? I never found the closet. Somebody show me this closet to go look inside.
Well, that was going to be another question I had, but I'll save it for another time.
You don't want to ask it
a long answer, probably for me.
You
No,
DNA.
we not no stories.
And
No
I
stories.
asked you this already, DNA,
Okay,
and you never gave me a direct
So
no.
so you can ask Rob.
Okay, that's right.
I just want to know, like, when did you know?
I said I gave you the answer before.
No, you didn't.
I did so. I said at 10 years old, I knew I like.
You never said that. You
I
said
said it.
I had a friend and I sat on his lap, or he sat on your lap.
Let's not get it twisted.
No, I don't
It
know.
wouldn't make a difference anyway.
I don't remember what exactly it was.
Well, he
but
sat on my lap. It wouldn't make a difference.
Right.
We both like each other.
And you just was like, yeah, this is nice. You never said no. At 10, I kind of knew.
Yeah, at 10.
Oh,
At 10,
okay.
I probably younger. When you're in 5th grade, you're 10 years old, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up, Greg? I think his name was Greg.
Oh my God.
He didn't give me the time of day.
No,
Great guy.
for some of us, it starts at an early age, and some of us are late bloomers.
Mhm.
But I would say for me, I kind of had thoughts, but I never reacted upon it. Like
You're
a child.
bisexual.
Well, again, yeah, because initially my primary source was go
Females.
for women. Yeah,
So, but when did you be like, you know what? I want to try this, see how this goes.
I would say around like maybe my sophomore years, I kind of it kind of hit me heavy, and I was like, wow. So I thought about it, but I never really acted upon it until I was 19. I moved to a different city and state, so I was like, let me explore
Come
and
to the mic, please.
Okay.
get some information so I could know how this work. And then I found out for me, traversing through it, that it was a lot different than what I was told when I was a kid. When I was a kid, they basically poisoned me because they was afraid that I would find it or maybe become a stereotype.
Mm-hmm.
So then I took it upon myself to say, no, this isn't right. I don't feel what they said at all. And what they said didn't add up to.
What did they say?
What you feel?
Well, they told me all gay men were pedophiles and they mess with little boys and little girls. They offer little kids candy, like, oh, come here, little boy, I got some candy for you. And, they drive around these crazy Cadillac cars or some, they wear like purple and pink, and they wear like
Purple.
bathrobe. So I was like, that's like
your
the
parents told you this?
yeah.
They wear purple and pink and right around Galaxy candy. Nobody ever gave me candy. Where's my candy?
Maybe you wasn't sweet enough. I don't know, but.
I wasn't as cute as you, right?
But they painted a picture, I guess, in my opinion, about what they really feared most about it. And again, maybe the perspective of where they would come from if they happened to be down there. So that would be their worst fear. But then how do you speak for somebody else and their experience and say that, that individual may not feel the same way you feel?
Nobody gave me the time of day.
Aisha.
Like they didn't explain to you.
No, I'm saying nobody even gave me a look to go, come here, you cutie. Nobody gave me the time of day. They paid me no mind. I was invisible.
Okay, Aisha.
Right? Aisha Curry.
Aisha Curry.
Oh, I sound like her. Yeah, that's why I understand her. That's why I kept bringing up the question. When did they get married? Because I understand now you want to play catch-up
19.
ball. What was that thing again with the guy who gets older and bought a sports car? What's it called?
Midlife crisis.
So I got midlife crisis. I'm trying to play catch-up ball. I had no fun when I was young. I want to play catch-up ball.
So, ladies.
RedzSpice, I had enough. I'm out of here.
Yes, Red, it was definitely a pleasure.
Wait. Oh, I'm sorry. No, guys. I have fun too, and I'm looking forward to, just hearing what y'all talking about, learning some new things. Because, like I said, I have some friends that want to experiment and stuff, so maybe I could pass that information and stuff on to them.
Well, tell them to listen in and they'll learn, and we'll learn from them too.
Well, one is listening. She thought it was last week.
Oh, no.
And she was like, hello, where is, I'm looking for the show. And I was like, no, it's next week. So, yeah.
This is the world premiere tonight with
Correct.
Rock, BU. This is history, May 11th, 2019, right?
Yes, a week after my birthday.
See,
Happy
there you
belated
go.
birthday.
Thank you. Happy Taurus season. Taurus is in the house. Mothers, fathers, everybody out there.
Even though it's Scorpio season,
There was this
365.
gorgeous Taurus. Oh, he was fine as wine. The best thing. Never mind.
You almost had me. No, but I have love for my Scorpios too. In fact, Scorpios are the only one, male or female, that could, keep my focus.
Hey, you already know.
And talking about top and bottom, we were both tops, and we had the greatest of times. He was a Taurus. I didn't even put two and two together. You told me.
So,
Taurus
DNA, you're a
women.
top?
What am I supposed to be, a drag queen?
I don't know.
No, I don't know those terms.
Wait.
Like
So,
I said, wait.
No, I have a question. So if you're a bottom, you have to necessarily be a drag queen, or
I'm joking. I'm asking.
I don't know
Okay,
stuff.
I shouldn't be joking with because you don't know. No, the thing is this: he and I were both men. We never even asked the question of top and bottom. We were just what we were. And it was
Y'all were doing what y'all do.
Exactly.
Okay.
And hopefully he remembers me as much as I remember him.
But it's manly bottoms, right? That was me. That was this.
No, I mean, I hate to say it, but
Masculine.
a lot of people in our community would think the same thing. They said they feel like it's saturated. It's more bottoms than there is tops.
There's too many gays in the world. All you gays, turn straight so I have more men to play with, please. It's too many gays. Turn straight.
And on that note, guys.
No, not even just that. Just
I'm joking. I better stop joking.
Have other sexual
having
things
fun.
besides just one thing. If you do that, you would actually find more people you could actually have in common with and enjoy them for longer periods of time instead of just for one night.
Make it plain. You're too deep. I lost. Either I'm slow or something. I keep losing.
No, I only said because again, you got tops and bottoms going for things that like even outside of the norms or what they normally attracted to, because the people within their realm, they don't like the choices that's there. You got tops. If you got, and I hate to use the cruel terms, but if you got Dick Almighty, finding Ash shouldn't be a hard thing to do. People should be breaking down your doors trying to get to you.
All big dicks don't want a bottom.
Okay, guys, and on that note, guess what? I'm out. I'll catch y'all next week. Make sure y'all tune into Rob's new show, BU, okay?
And it's going to be on right now.
It's for the SGLs, and it's still continuing. I think they're on until about 10 or something like that. 9:30. All right, guys, so peace and love.
All right, bro. No, but you keep your headphones on. You still
I was
rocking.
gonna move that seat.
Oh, okay.
This seat is kind of hot.
I know. Scorpio, look at you, Scorpio. You said it right there.
All right, guys.
Need extinguishers in the booth after you.
So hot.
I need my close so I can plug my phone in.
Ready to plug it in? You see it? Plug it by the don't go nowhere. Stay Facebook. We're still here. Facebook. We're just moving around.
This yours? Mm-hmm.
You didn't hang it out. Where's that on your? Where's how
we jump right back onto the show?
Oh, you just put it on it. No, we apologize, Rob. We've been hung up. My apologies.
Yeah, we jumped right into the show.
It's all good. It's all good.
We don't disrespect like
We
that.
usually hang stuff up.
Yeah, sorry about
We
that.
jumped right into the show because we just run the time.
Okay. Facebook, we're not going anywhere. We're still here. We're just rearranging the seats over here, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Rock, when you plug it in, use that extension back there. Just take whatever's out, take it out. I think.
All right.
So then, oops, I moved the camera. I'm so sorry.
You can put it on top.
All right, Rob.
Moving cameras and stuff.
Okay, cool.
All right, guys.
Let me let you go.
All right, definitely.
You can have me some good questions, Ms. RedzSpice. Putting you on the spot. All
right, people.
I didn't
We out.
even know this.
No, women always have that insight of knowing how to go the extra mile when it comes to being inquisitive and asking.
You like my sisters in a minute. You ready to throw a stone at me? Asking all these innocent questions. And, I want to hear that.
Yeah, then you saw that.
I know.
That was one thing.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys.
All right, Riz.
All right.
Red.
All right.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
All right.
Want some more water, Rock?
Yes, please.
Take care. Got any stuff, right? Yeah. All right. I gotta adjust the cameras too. I don't know your position. One second. Go. Yeah, you can do it. Here you go, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay, so the radio's on now, so the music is playing. We got like 30 seconds to get back in position. Let me organize this real quick. Okay. Yeah, you can move that chair out of the way, because move that chair, move it over here, right there, please. Just put it outside.
When I said this chair's high, I'm gonna say this chair.
Just get it out the way. Turn around towards the sofa. Just turn around towards it. There you go. There you go. Cool. All right. Yeah, I think 1 hour is gonna be too short for your program.
Yep. I definitely want to get in so I could actually, starting to get familiar, know people and stuff, so I could do things. And I want to give people the proper spotlight, especially if they ask intelligent questions that,
Yeah, inquisitive, So.
No, it's good to be inquisitive because you learn a lot.
Yeah. I just find one more record. Yeah, I went to the bathroom real quick. Let's try Gucci Mane.
I didn't know you had DJing skills, guy. I remember you was responsible for the music that we had when we was at the zone, right? You was the DJ for the music responsible for our place at the zone, right?
Just mixtapes. At the time, it was mixtapes.
Yeah, but you chose the right thing to incorporate the.
I just buy them from downtown. Just buy me all of them.
So what's up, y'all? I think we're still live. Anybody got any questions, any concerns?
Facebook live. YouTube, Facebook.
All my YouTube viewers, Facebook.
There you go. Just bear with me. 1 second. 1 second, please. I only got one. Okay. You get hungry around here, man. The place makes you hungry.
Huh?
The place makes you hungry. All this.
I think it's the lights. Like when they get bright, they add heat, and then when you overheat, you tend to get hungry.
Make sure I get this right. Now that you using the Facebook over there, that using that screen. No, the one with the sheet.
This one's for this one.
Yeah.
And this one's for
That's
both of these.
Right. Oh, they're both Facebook up?
Yeah. Because I know when I do this thing, and then sometimes I do things here, it shows up on that screen.
Okay, you want to X out, because that slows it down. Like those messages might slow things down.
Yeah, I'm going to X them out. Oh, we got callers.
Is it coming? Is it back with
What is that?
No, that's California.
Oh.
Yeah, next week. Oh, no. John's on a special assignment with her kids, and RedzSpice and Wiz just left 2 seconds ago. So your computer, you ready to go at 9:30? 9:30 our time?
Mm-hmm. Oh.
All right, let me know. I'm trying to get this music going. I don't know dead air. So let me know right before you give me like 5 minutes before you're ready to go. Just call me over here. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. We'll go back live after this. You got all your notes, questions, and all that good stuff.
I forgot how to get this back to where it was. 'Cause I think me and her did something.
Yes, sir. Okay. See up top it says, is it Andy? The name Andy up top? By the logo?
Yeah.
See the blue? The blue?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, come down some.
This right?
Yeah, just click on Andy. Yep. Scroll down. So there you go.
Click this?
Is it still loading? No, the next one. The one below that. The one below that.
This one.
Yeah, that's the one you're live now.
Oh, we got to fix this.
What does it say?
929.
What's that 9? What's that?
Instead of 917, they're going to put 929.
All that time is the wrong number?
No, we said the number's correct, but I just know that. It's like, wait, because I was repeating number, kept saying.
Okay, you can fix it. You want to fix it? Fix it.
All right. How
Let me see. Can you fix it? Edit. Reach 929.
I did. Co-host RedzSpice will call in 929.
Oh, 917. Just save it. You got it? 17. No wonder people are probably cursing us out. Hey, I can't get through. Just say that's good. Just say yeah.
Oh wait, hold on. Sorry.
Come back. I'll save it down here.
Mm-hmm.
I got a keyboard for here, but it's like no room. That's why I just put it on the side. Now I had to post. I'll be edited already.
It was just taking its time. But,
How you X this out? You know how to X this out?
no.
Okay. So you can press the play so it'll be live. You see what's going on live. Okay. There you have it. You can put a full screen too if you want. Maybe it might go away and put on full screen. There's a slow computer that's almost like 5-6 years old. Laptop.
At least it's still in good condition.
Is it moving? There it is. Got all your notes? Now we have to make that clear. Oops, excuse me. All right, ready to go live after this. Just to secure me one more time. Okay. After the DNA.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome. We're live. This is Rock for DNA Radio. DNA Radio presents
DNAradio.net. We're back down here doing overtime, waiting for Nate's to get ready in California, Rock.
Right, and we got Rock up here in New York live. I'm presenting BU, a radio program every Saturday. I'm going to be hosting from 5 to 6, and maybe even possibly at this time, to reach out to our brothers and sisters in our SGL, same gender loving community. My Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, we got viewers. Give us a call. We're right here. You can call us at 917. What was the number again? 917-727-8020. Again, 917-727-8020. I'm gonna be taking calls. So hopefully, get a nice little dialogue going on. Any questions, comments, concerns? I'll be more than happy to hear any of the views that you guys have out there. And again, I'm your boy Rock, and I'm definitely your host, and I'm looking forward to answering any of your questions and being a voice for our community.
Well, I found the problem. That's the green mic is the one that was humming. So that red one is good.
Okay.
When you went out, that green was had a problem. Okay, let's see. Here's our notes. So one more time, I don't know if you said it already, but I want to make a point that we're not here bashing anyone. We're just trying to open up the airwaves for communicating, that's all. Do you have that thing I gave you earlier? Read?
Yeah. All right, so basically the premise of what I would try to, enlighten and help, educate our brethren out there is to be true to yourself. Being true takes a lot of courage, which requires you to be introspective, sincere, open-minded, and fair. It doesn't mean that you're disrespectful or inconsiderate of others, but it means that you just won't let others define you or make your choices and decisions that you should make for yourself.
Cool. This is another note I want to make clear is that BU is not a radio program to give away any of our so-called same gender loving secrets. But this is a program. BU is a program to help, support, and uplift our brothers and sisters in the same gender loving DL community. We're here to support. We're not here to talk about anybody. We're not here to bash anyone. We're not about that. We love all our brothers in the same gender loving community, and the same gender loving community could be from A to Z. There's no stereotypes. A to Z. No
discrimination. Nobody being singled out.
Exactly. So, I had a question about gay marriage or same gender loving marriage. I wrote a note down here. What's your view on that, Mr. Rock?
Well, for starters, I'm gonna be honest. I'm more or less open for it, but not for the way I guess mainstream would go for it.
It's legal. The so-called those morons on the Supreme Court. I shouldn't call them morons. Those individuals on the Supreme Court, they upheld the law, so it's legal.
But again, there's I guess you could say individuals within our own community that they're not so proactive for it, which is, like I said, understandable. Maybe because that's not a fight that actually, again, fights for where that particular individual identifies or feel that is necessary for them to have it in their lives. Now, like again, my personal thing is I'm actually happy that it's an option for people who would like to make it their choice, but it's not something I would say that I would be upset if it wasn't available for things like that. But again, like I said, me being bisexual, a man or a woman could actually be a choice for me, but in the sense of marriage, it's a little bit complicated. But again, I'm definitely for it, and it doesn't bother me one way or another if it happens or it doesn't happen.
Interesting, very interesting. Why is my mic not working? 1 second, please. I guess I'll use this mic. There it is. Okay. On the wrong switch. Once again, we're live down here on DNAradio.net. This is BU.
With your host, Rock, a.k.a. Rockman. You call me Rock or L, don't matter.
Okay. Any more questions I have down here in my notes here? Oh, I think we both agree to disagree about this life and lifestyle phrase.
Well, again, I have a better, retrospective about it now. Yes, it is a life that you're living, but the style you choose to, identify with how you want to represent yourself in the world, where the world can actually see it, and hopefully it coincides with how the individual feels about where they're at in their life, and if it corresponds with how they live in their lives.
Okay.
Again, I'll use myself as an example. I actually take pride in knowing that I could seduce to turn on a male or a female, that, again, either one is suitable to be my partner, that, I could go for to be what I need to be for that particular individual.
Okay. So do women approach you, or you usually approach the women?
Well, unfortunately, I'm one of the very few brothers that I would actually have to go out there and approach. And like I said, I don't often get the opportunity or the choice to actually have that particular woman as a choice for me, because of, for whatever that individual decides, because not all women are the same, just like not all men are the same. But for the most part, I feel like the reason why I had to open my options so that men are also included, because that wasn't really always the case at one point, is more so I don't have to deal with certain other bad qualities that we all share as human beings, whether we're narcissistic, prideful, jealous, and insecure. Those are traits that often, when attracting a mate, are very, distasteful, or it's pretty much, you're not that's not a choice for you. You're not happy with that choice if an individual could be like that, and most people aren't trying to come out of that. So therefore, but back to, the subject of what I was talking about, it's just, it gets really frustrating when you deal with certain individual type that they have certain things. You can't help who you find attractive. So within that, you also got to take into consideration who that individual is and how they choose to live their lives. And if it, again, corresponds where y'all both could actually meet and see eye to eye.
Interesting. So in this, are you celebrating the 50th year of Stonewall, and you're going to the parade in June?
To be honest, I'm with for the equality and the people before us who fought for the rights for and I'm only on things like that. I'm not as proactive as I could be, or maybe that I should be. But I feel like that's kind of really not my fight. In a way it is, but in a way it really isn't, because I feel like that fight didn't just represent us all as a whole. It represented maybe a certain demographic of people who fought to want to be noticed and acknowledged. And there's nothing wrong with that, because again, they paved the way so that we can exist a little bit more freely with our sexuality.
Okay, I'm glad that the blacks and the Latinos who fought in 1969 at Stonewall to stand up for their human dignity and human rights, I'm glad that took place. What I'm upset about is that the white gay community is just rewriting history, and they're erasing all the contributions that black same-gender loving / gay men and women contribute to this whole life. And that's what upsets me. I mean, they call themselves liberals, they call themselves progressives, but sometimes they are just as bad as the conservatives, the Republicans, the racists, and they claim they're not aware of it, but sometimes they are, And I don't want to talk about the meeting we were at the other day. Well, I'll probably talk to you about that off camera and off radio to get your feedback. This is your first meeting in that type of environment with, the businessmen and all that stuff. The wheelers and dealers trying to get deals and business done. I just want to get your opinion later on about that. I just don't see, I don't know. I got a whole lot of thoughts, and I got to organize my thoughts before I start yapping on radio or on Facebook or YouTube. But one day we'll discuss it. So you're not celebrating gay pride?
No, because again, I feel like that term is a little bit loosely, especially for, again, us who are within the community itself. Again, the term pride and the parade, the festivities, it doesn't really cater and speak to everybody, because they may want something different than what, like I said, the mainstream who follow the cultures and bring some of the traditions to life. Although, be it, like I said, sometimes it's nice to see parades, the colors of floats and stuff, but not everybody is really interested in seeing fashion or design or any other things that the homosexual or gay lifestyle may incorporate. Again, like, for instance, I'm gonna be honest, if I ever went to an event like that, I wouldn't go for any of those reasons. My reason would be, of course, if I'm single, I'm looking for who's hot and who I could go talk to or maybe go home with.
Okay. I think I went to one of those events, one of those parades, probably 20 years ago, maybe. It was a little wild. It was a little too wild for me, I think. I'm very liberal, but it's a little too wild,
But it's definitely not for the faint of heart.
True indeed. I don't know. I may have different thoughts, but they were having a good time. I love to see. Okay. I'm gonna go back and forth. I remember probably age 18, 19, 20, hanging out with my straight friends, and we would go to. This is before rap, took off as an industry. We would go to the clubs. I don't remember the name of the clubs. This is one of the very few times in my life I followed the crowd, to hang out after playing baseball in the summertime. Okay, let's go hang out and have some fun. Well, they didn't say about let's go meet some girls. Let's go out and hang out. That was the term. Let's go hang out. They were all supposedly straight guys. So I hung out with them. And we went to the club, and it's like everybody is standing around, just watching. Everybody's a hard rock, everybody was a thug, everybody just standing around watching, you know what I'm saying? So and then probably 2 years later, one of my same gender loving gay brothers, he took me to a gay club, right? And I'm probably 20 now, maybe. I'm getting lost in my time. So let's say I'm 20. I think I was 20, probably 20. And we went to the gay club, right? So it's a mixed club. It's a huge, humongous club, bigger than big. And all you saw was these people on the dance floor having a good time. They didn't care. Let's go back to the straight club. When you went to the straight parties, you had to have your best clothes on, look all dressed up and fancy and cool. I wasn't with that nonsense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to be cool, trying to look all fancy, the latest.
That wasn't your movement.
Right. So my other associate takes me to the gay club. Nobody cared about what you was wearing. They're walking around with holy. You think they're walking around with holy things today? They're walking around with that same stuff 30 plus years ago. So, and no one was looking at you as to, you ran Gucci or you ran Versace. This is a new phenomenon in the gay world. Back then, when I was coming to have a good time, nobody cared about what you wore. They didn't care if you couldn't dance. I couldn't dance. Somebody cared. You know what I'm saying? So it was a different environment, and I enjoyed that environment where nobody was looking at you.
No, it's quiet, it's calm, it's subtle. You don't have to worry about competition or trying to be popular.
Right. I think today's gay clubs are a little different, but back then it was just this is before the government put AIDS in the gay community, and now they put AIDS into the black community and AIDS in Africa. But before then, everybody had a nice free lifestyle, had a good time. So I can understand maybe why they called themselves gay, because they were just having fun. Gay means fun, right?
Happy, free, loving, just
have a gay old time,
free,
right?
Pretty much, yeah.
So that's what they were having, a gay old time, and I enjoy that environment. Even if I was straight, I probably didn't enjoy the environment. I'm sure you might have heard the term the garage, the club called the Garage.
I heard about that.
That was
I heard about Banditos, Two Potatoes. These are places.
Those are later. They came later. Okay,
but it was still it was still before my time. I wasn't even old enough to get in those places. By the time I was old enough to be a part of that scene, it was a done deal.
Okay. But the Garage was probably the club. It was like the Studio 54 for the gay world. It and it was interracial. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, I stand corrected. Sorry, they had 2 nights. Friday was a white night, and then Saturday was the night I love. It was Black night. and that night they allowed everybody in, but it was predominantly Black people there. You know, male, female, and there were no titles. I mean, if you were a woman, you wanted to have a good time, you were there. I don't know if you were a straight, lesbian, whatever the case was. Nobody was judging you, and it was a great time. I'm glad I lived through that. I had a chance to see a lot of good things, you know. Yep.
A lot of interesting progresses.
Yes. So I'm not against the gay pride parade because I think there's no difference between a so-called straight person and a quote same gender loving gay person. We're all the same. You know what I'm saying? We all bleed one blood. You know, people have needs, and that this term people have needs.club. People have needs.club, like .com, but instead of .com, you put .club. People have needs.club.
But again, I also want to touch up on something you said earlier. Like I said, stereotypically, when most people hear the word bisexual, most people think that, oh, it's just this creepy dude who's nasty, who's just trying to have, freak off with just anybody and anything.
I never think that.
Well, no. Society and mainstream, I guess you could say in the mainstream, that's really the stigma or the textbook example of what it really entails. And it's so much more than that. You would actually have to traverse down there yourself to actually figure out how different it really is.
I'll pass.
But hey, I'll look at it like this. For some of the brothers out there that might not, fancy it too much or look at it like that, look at it like this. That's less competition, because I hate to say it, a lot of women say that. Some of the women who, I was at liberty and I didn't mind, telling them about me, they're like, why are you brothers, why are y'all good looking or you're attractive and y'all deal with men and stuff? You don't really realize how it is. And I just say that.
Wait, they asked you those questions?
Yeah.
Wait, you actually told a girl you're bisexual?
No, well, it depends. If it comes up in the, it's on a need to know basis. Nobody would know unless I want you to know. And I'm not saying I'm going out of my way to hide it, and I'm not going out of my way to say I'm on the advertise and broadcast it. If it comes up in the discussion, it has to be. I'm not ashamed to talk about how I feel. Like, I take pride in that. That's really something that I say I take ownership. Nobody could tell me or has the right to make me feel bad about something that is a choice and is a feeling that's within me.
So you have no problem dating a bisexual female?
Oh, definitely not. In fact, I've yet to meet one, and I'm open for that. I'm open for a lot of things, but ultimately, if I want, when it comes to settle down, no different than if I was heterosexual, there could only be one. I can only be with one woman, but that doesn't stop most men who are heterosexual from dealing with just one female. They might deal with multiple females for whatever reason. Depends on how that individual feels, and if they feel that there's a need to be there or do that, then that's what they're gonna do.
All right, we're going to open up the lines now here.
Yes, please. I would love to take some callers.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. So whatever you want to do, call us up. I shouldn't be so pessimistic, right?
It may take time, though.
Okay. Call us live right now. We're at 917-727-8020. That's 917-727-8020. Okay, remember, BU is a dialogue, not a monologue. And right now, it's just a monologue between the two of us, meaning that we're talking to ourselves. We want to open up the lines to everybody out there in radio land, Facebook land.
Yes, send them comments. I definitely would like to see some feedback to see what's needed. Like I said, I would be more than happy to hear some of your concerns. Maybe you guys have questions that you would like to interact with, and that's what we are. We're interactive. So please, by all means.
Yes, call us up. We want to hear your live input and your comments. One more time, that number is 917-727-8020. That's 917-727-8020. A nice, easy number. So where do we leave off?
Well, I think we were still talking about the
bisexuality.
I guess what you would find out like at certain gay events or things considering pertaining to people in our lifestyle, like where would we go hang out or interact and meet people, socialize, stuff like that.
Okay.
All right. Again, like I said,
I say community, you say lifestyle. But
I'm still getting used to using that kind of thing. Cause I would prefer community too, because we all fit in the same thing. And again, one thing we all have in common is that men are our choice for whatever reason. Again, not everybody has the same reason as to why, if you're a man who's attracted to another man.
Listen, and I hope this is not blasphemy. And I think I said it before on the air. If the creator, Rock.
Oh, what up, Josh? I see you. Shout out to Joshua.
What's up? Now check this out, Rock. If the creator made anything better than a black male, he must have kept it to himself. What do you think about that? Well, it's not blasphemy, is it?
Well, it depends on what your depiction of God is. Like, why would he have a need for something?
No, I'm just saying, he made the black male so beautiful, so gorgeous, so everything. I mean, who would not want a black male? You know what I'm saying?
Well, like they say, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, first and foremost. And just because something looks good and pretty doesn't necessarily mean that it's actually a good thing to be around. I've learned through my experiences that people who you would deem attractive or who the world would deem attractive, they tend to have bad qualities that make them not so good choices if you actually get to know who they are and what substance. Some of them tend to be shallow and not really,
Well, no, you said it. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So whatever I consider beauty is what I consider beauty.
Absolutely.
Not what society calls beauty.
Definitely.
So any more people logging in, chiming in over there?
don't we all?
Well,
As a matter of fact,
read some of those comments.
we have Josh says he knows he would want one.
What's up, Josh?
I'm gonna elaborate on that because it's funny you say that. Let's just say you're somebody from the SGL community or LGBTQ. We all like to go out, have a good time, socialize, interact, and meet various different type of people for whatever reason, and yet everybody seems to be hung up on the same stereotype. Oh, I gotta have, a fine-looking brother, the best-looking brother.
But that's their prerogative, isn't it? I mean, if somebody, if you want, what was that? The movie Eddie Murphy played in? He's the big. But then if you want the Nutty Professor, then that's what you want.
Yes.
I'll take Trey Songz. Thank you very much.
Well, then we would have a fight then, but it goes to say, like, and I'm just saying like this, I'm just making it general. Like I said, we all want the good looking hot guy that, that not just what you would want, but what everybody would want, then have the satisfaction saying like, oh, I got him. Oh, he's for me. And
well, how many? No, go on. I'm sorry. I interrupted you. Finish your point. I'm sorry.
No, but it just goes to say that sometimes people, granted, you can't help who you're attracted to, but
right.
Certain individuals go about it in such a wrong way, which kind of defeats the purpose of not even just that individual being that way, but for what you idolize or place on the pedestal to be that. For, that individual may not feel that they deserve all that or exist at that level or see the same thing that you see. And we tend to get things out of retrospective. Like, again, I'll use me as an example. Most people see me because of the way I dress and, carry myself. Now, granted, I very much like to be a guy. I'm definitely a guy. I'm really a man's man. I'm a ladies' man as well. But
why do you keep making that distinction? As if you have to make it perfectly clear to the world that I just don't love guys. I love girls too. And then you put it out there purposely as if you want the world to recognize that point.
Well, again, there's a big difference.
Have you realized you've been doing it all night?
To some degree, but yes, because I'm trying to tell people to identify that, individuals don't always fall in that. Because like I said, there's a lot of people out there that would say, just because I am bisexual and women are still my choice, they would still automatically classify me as gay, which I don't identify because gay means you have a certain mindset of how you think. It's more than just finding men attractive or getting in bed with other men. And I don't fulfill the other requirements that would make a person gay.
So what are those other? Because I know you.
I mean, there's a lot of things, but I'm going to use the best things that I've learned,
okay,
and only for the simple fact because I don't want that to be in any way, shape, or form something that connects me or that I'm really associated with. The only thing you can actually say I'm associated with is that men are a choice for me. That's it, and it stops there, nothing more.
Men are a choice.
Being with a man, I don't want the same thing that most gay men or most people who are stereotype or again in the mainstream, I don't want to identify that because that's not what defines me.
So, okay, what does mainstream identify with gay?
Basically, everybody who joins the bandwagon and thinks and feels the same way, and it's easier for them to just join what everybody else is thinking because it's simpler than to get complicated and find out the details that there's different types of men in this genre.
Maybe we need to document these different types of people, and we'll sell it. we'll sell our research. If you want to buy our research, buy our app, something like that. You know what I'm saying? And we'll put together this app that breaks down the different relationships. You know, you can look at that on your cell phone too. You know? You're charging. Okay. So it's coming up okay on a laptop?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I lost my train of thought. Sorry. I was trying to answer your point, but I lost my thought. Sorry.
But well, again, like I said, within our community, there's a lot of hatred, and like I said, I'm going to address a whole bunch of things.
But that's in life. Don't just say it's in our community. It's in life.
Okay.
Period.
Okay. Let me rephrase that. The way that it exists in our community, I'm not saying it shouldn't exist, but it should exist in a better, term, because again, we discussed that being gay means to be happy. And usually, I don't see very much happiness going along our community because people feel shame, they feel jealous, they feel entitled, they feel, they want to be included or acknowledged. Nobody wants to feel forgotten, but yet a lot of us aren't working hard towards those goals so that we could say, hey, we have a right to pursue that, or we deserve it and we're worthy of that. So for those of us who aren't as fortunate as others to, I guess you could say, be attractive in certain people's eyes, it's easy for them to kind of get what they want because
but I'm going to control. But everybody's not looking for attractiveness in terms of physical beauty that society puts out there.
Absolutely, no, and it goes more. Like I said, I believe that the 5 components that make a human being, male or female, attractive is the mental.
Hold on, write this down because I know it's going to go back so quickly. Okay, I got mental going.
It's the mental.
Yes, sir.
The emotional.
Emotional going.
The spiritual.
Spiritual, yes, sir.
Physical, and then last but not least, the sexual. They're all energies that incorporate what a human being is, and it's vital and essential for you to develop having a healthy bond or connection, or being bonded with somebody. And a lot of people within our community don't take that serious. And for those of us who do, some of us still go about the wrong way because we don't talk about things. I feel like sex is the least. Go ahead. Okay,
I want to still go on at those 5 points. How did you describe those 5 points? What was your subtitle? Or what was your title today?
Well, I didn't really. No, I mean, we don't have access to. We have no idea what we're talking about. So we gotta,
So what was the headline for that?
Well, I didn't say a headline, but I believe those are the 5 important components that.
That's it. The 5 important components. There you go. Okay.
There's a reason why we got 5 fingers on our hands, because they equal something, and then 20 times 5 is 100. So that's the way we could give you all our 100% to any one person that you feel is worthy and right for you.
Okay. The 5 important components of being in the.
And yes, Josh, you're definitely right. Most people feel alienated. And when you do feel alienated, people tend to get angry when you're told that, there's a fence around that. You're only allowed to go to this area, or you're entitled to this, and this is all that's allowed to you. So
where are you counting all this stuff from?
No, I'm reading the comment. About feeling alienated. So that's what, people tend to lash out or get defensive for no reason because of the alienation or even discrimination or any, negative connotation that would make a person not want to, I wouldn't say act accordingly or normal. To me, the word normal means natural. You don't have to go out your way to be something that naturally occurs or naturally happens.
I don't know, maybe it's just me, but you are so deep that I just try to keep following and I'm getting lost. I don't know. I have another associate just like you. He always goes so deep into explaining stuff. I'm going like, okay, now where did I lose you at? So I understood these 5 components. That was very elementary for me to understand. But what you just said just now is like, I would like to follow it, but I'm lost. Were you reading or were you just talking?
I was doing a little bit of both.
Both. Okay, I'm trying to follow you, but you're making some very good points, And I don't mean to keep interrupting you, so please, I apologize.
All right, no problem. I'm going to read one of Josh's comments. Josh,
bring that mic close to you, please.
All right, Josh Daniel says, I feel as if we as a community don't try to understand each other. We rather pass judgment instead of finding a root to what is going on. You know what, Josh? That's a pretty interesting point that you said.
Josh, Josh, is he on Facebook only? Can he hear us also?
I believe so. Yeah, he's tuning in. Yeah.
So Josh, within that comment, does that? Are you explaining the feminine I'm going to use the term gay just for now. I'll change back and forth, same gender loving gay. Are you talking about the feminine gay community, or are you talking about guys on the down low, guys who are not? I'm not probably explaining this wrong, because guys on the down low they don't have all that drama. From my
to some degree they do, because they don't get a chance to really get the air, because they go, depending, again, each individual, it varies, so not every individual thinks the same, but for the most part, I feel like, again, if certain things don't cater, they have no way to express their ability to have a sexual, so they kind of be limited to what's available, because they gotta hide.
Because of frustration?
Well, not just the stigma that's attached to homosexuality, period, is not a good stigma. And rather than that, like I said, like, again, I'll use me, for example, because I can only speak on myself.
Okay.
I don't identify as, effeminate. And I have nothing against effeminate, because I have effeminate friends. I have flamboyant friends. They add to the repertoire of having different types of people that could give you different experience. They expose you to different lights of, ways of thinking, and we are individuals as humans.
So is it a lot of, when you deal with your feminine, what was the word, frat boy you call it?
No, I said flamboyant.
Oh, flamboyant, okay. So with your feminine and flamboyant friends, is there a lot of drama or what?
No, for the most part, the ones that's in my circle that I feel I've befriended, they show me that they're regular people first before they're, whatever they feel like they want to be or exist or represent themselves in this life choice. Is that better than lifestyle?
Life.
Or better yet, the practice of homosexuality or same or gender or
this life. Period. Just in this life.
Well, again, remember, we're talking about specific people who do specific things in life. Because if we talk about life, then that would also include heterosexual people. Where heterosexual.
Okay, what is your show about? Be you.
Oh, yes, be you.
So we're talking about our community. We're not talking about the other community. Nothing wrong with the other community, but we're talking about our community. So. Anyway, more Facebook.
Well, Joshua said he was talking about everyone.
Oh, everyone. Oh, okay. So it's not just the same gender loving / gay communities.
Well, no, I think within when you said, are you talking about feminine guys or masculine guys? I think he meant the different categories of guys within our community.
Interesting. I guess I don't know.
No, but again, I'm going to go back to, like you said, about the being alienated. Like I said, everybody wants to be included, and of course, you'd want somebody that you would feel, and to the individual who may find that particular individual attractive. We all want to be like, or hope that, hey, we're their choice too, or they would choose us. You know what I'm saying? Like, who doesn't want to be wanted or desired or pursued? It's just that there's so many of us that don't know how to deal with rejection or understand, like, who for that individual may be a master of the domain of knowing who they are and what they want, and they could probably see attributes or characteristics within inside you as a human being that you probably don't have, that they feel is ideal. Because again, I'll use myself as an example. I know what I'm willing to work for, and if it doesn't, and it's not saying that, like, there's a difference between somebody being superficial versus somebody who goes for what they feel naturally because that's their preference. And again, rather than, I would like to say, even and it exists big time, in my opinion, in the heterosexual community, you got men or guys, getting with females, they really, feel like they settle, they want more than what she has to offer. So then they go out and maybe find 2 or 3, maybe even 5 females that might have the qualities that the one that they initially started off with didn't have. So rather than that, like, I'm the type, I'd rather stay single till I find somebody that can actually have and fulfill the things that I know I'm willing to put the effort to get. And it gets kind of frustrating when, other people try to change your agenda to make you feel guilty or feel bad that, you're not their choice, or well, they're not your choice, or you move a certain way and have, you have a way of that, like, of what you feel like is right for you. And unfortunately, a person who may find interest in you may not want to, be something else or what it takes to get you. So they try to say, instead of me changing to be what I feel is next, because I feel like if you are attracted to somebody and you're pursuing them, you got to some degree abide by how that individual would want to be approached, and hopefully what you have to offer. And if you're not, well, I don't want to be with somebody who really don't want to be with me. And if you just get with me just to settle or spare my feelings, like that just won't work for me. I want the satisfaction knowing you want me to want you. You want me to pursue you.
So, Rock, I don't like this thing of personal. When some of the points I have to address to you because you're the only person I'm sitting in front of.
No.
Now, I think you mentioned this week something about there was people who have wants, right, and needs. I think it was.
Yes.
Wants and needs were their sexual needs, their financial needs, money, right?
Yes.
Power, and you mentioned 2 or 3 more after. Remember the conversation?
Some people feel empowered or they like control.
That's still under power, I would think, right? Control.
I guess you could throw dominance in there for the measure as well.
Oh, that's still power. So okay, so let me ask you a question. Okay, in a 24-hour day, okay, in a 7-day week, 24 times 7, I think it's 168 hours.
Mm-hmm.
In a 168-hour week, what is your brain consumed more on? Finding love, finding relationships, which is love, right? Or is it consumed with success, business, money? Like what in a 1 week period, 168 hours, 24-hour days times 7, what is your brain consumed on? If you don't have to answer the question, I like to open it up to everybody out there in Facebook land, YouTube land, and radio land. But since you said you don't have to answer if you don't want, but I'm just putting it out there to everybody. Like I know I can answer for myself. I would say 90% of my brain power, if you can call it that, right, is consumed with business. 90%. Okay. So let's say,
and it's admirable. There's nothing wrong with that. It's definitely admirable.
I know you speak about relationships a lot when we talk.
Well, I didn't get on that yet, but I will.
No, in the past week we were talking. About.
Yeah.
It seems like there's this pot of gold of love you're looking for.
Not really. See, a lot of people get that misconstrued a lot, but again.
I beg your pardon.
No, but for the individual. And I'll even give you my, experience of how I feel about it. But in the individual, every individual pursues dating, relationship, love, or sex in different ways because we're individual. We all want something different than what the average person may want. Say
it again, please.
Dating, sex, love, or relationships.
Would that be one category rather than 4?
No, not really, because love is different than sex. Anybody can have sex, but not everybody knows how to make love.
Okay, where can we have all the sex? Where can I go? Tell me where. Sorry, go on.
No, but
I'll be serious.
But we all go about approaching those, categories differently, and we all may have a certain want or need or aesthetic towards how we go about to make it happen. Now, like I said, some might look for more other, and then we can also throw, like you said, about finances, careers, etc., because there are people who do that. And I definitely want to say about this. This is why I feel like I kind of wanted to get on the air to kind of share that with people. So there's a lot of people who are financially and career oriented, but they still want relationships, but they're not willing to put the work to actually get it. But then they still require the things to make a relationship work. But then how do you make that work if you're not equally doing the work to make that person want to do that work for you?
That's if you have a person to do it with.
Yes. And 9 times out of 10, they don't do it. So then they're sex driven, but then that's kind of, I guess you could say a little closed-minded to say, but I'm going to elaborate on that. When there's nothing wrong with if sex is your game, if more people were honest, as to where they feel they fit on the spectrum of where they're going for, there would be a lot less heartaches or, issues, discrepancies, or even debates or fights, when it comes to our community, because there's a lot of that going on.
I like the way you said that, our community. I like that rather than our lifestyle, our community. So you're trying to tell me love, relationships, and sex are totally 3 different aspects?
They all are part of it, but they require different responsibilities in order to make them work.
Love.
Yes.
Which one's the easiest to answer first? Sex, relationship, or love?
I would say sex, since that seems like everything anybody could do at any given time.
So what, did I miss one, or was another one? You have love, relationship, sex. Was there another one category?
I guess you could say dating.
Dating. So dating and relationships is not the same?
No, because you would actually have to date first to determine if you want to be in a relationship. Okay. And a relationship is commitment, everybody. I don't care what you say. Yes, if you decide to say whether you're heterosexual or homosexual, if you're heterosexual, then either that's your girlfriend or your boyfriend, or if you're gay, obviously, or you're lesbian, then y'all whatever.
Well, I mean, lesbians are homosexual.
Well, yeah, but then here's my point. When you say lesbian, you're not thinking about a gay man. You see what I'm saying? When you say lesbian, you think about a gay woman. But there's no term for gay woman, so the term became lesbian. That's how you identify that's a woman who's in same gender loving, means she's a woman that's looking for another woman.
But wouldn't homosexuality be that same category for her?
Yes, it would.
Okay.
But most people aren't familiar with those terms, so that's why they say it like that, to help certain people who don't take it like that. The only people that pertains to would understand that is people who are within our community.
Okay, so okay, I'll mention it one more time, and you tell me which one is the easiest. You got something to read?
No, Josh is saying relationships come in many shapes and forms, which is absolutely true.
So now there's more categories. I'm trying to organize this stuff. There's so many categories.
No,
tell them to Joshua, right?
Yeah.
Joshua, elaborate on this relationship thing. I'm trying to understand all this. Love, relationship, sex, dating.
Well, I'm going to elaborate on what you said about the sex. Anybody can have it. Anybody.
That's the easiest one.
Yes.
Okay, I put that at number one.
Well, because sex only requires one or two things. It doesn't require your feelings. And yes, people could have sex.
I disagree.
On certain levels.
I can't have sex with anybody. There's got to be some feeling there.
Well, no, a connection or a spark or some kind of, thing that would make y'all, and it starts with, usually, I hate to say, it starts with what you see with your eyes physically.
Of course, yes.
So you got to find that person a feeling. Then I would say next would, for certain people who I feel are more developed with, and in tune with who they are and their sexuality. Then next you could say maybe mental stimulation, mental conversation and then of course a vibe, the spirit, the energy that you get off of somebody. But I mean, it's down to art. I mean, I'm a Taurus. We tend to, get into that. And trust me, I'm one of those Taurus that I will sweep you off your feet, down the stairs, and out the window. You're an exception. No, to me, you're an exception to the rule, because the Taurus I've known, and I grew up with a Taurus when I was a young, preteen and teenager. He was nothing like you. I mean, you're very expressive. He was very quiet. Well, there's different ones. Just like every sign has to, but I'm not going to get into the sign. But there's two different personality types for each.
Two opposites.
Yes.
Okay. But go on. You're talking about sex.
Yes. And because it's like anybody could have it, like especially if you have certain assets that will make you more appealing towards
certain assets.
Yes.
You need like a car, a big house.
More so just the aesthetics
assets
of a person, because you only offering yourself.
So the physical body, that's the asset.
Again, the 5 components that I said, those are the keys to do that. And let's just take the emotions off the table, because you don't know that person. In order for you to have emotions, you got to actually spend time with them and get to know them.
I got to stop interrupting you. Let me finish your thought. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Any more feedback from Joshua?
I just see that I'm a Leo.
He's a Leo? I had a good friend growing up with Leo.
Oh, Leos are some pretty interesting people, whether they're males or females. But
he was straight. He always played baseball. That's all we did all day long, baseball. And I didn't even look at him once for sex.
And it happens. There's people who I could say that I'm not physically or sexually attracted to. I mean, yes, and some of them happen to be men too. That I'd rather just have a nice deep bond or connection with people, on that level, that I'm not interested in sex. And another thing that's rare within our community is people who could actually be your friend without trying to have sex with you or secretly liking you. So
we can't be friends without we could be platonic friends.
Certain individuals don't believe in that. They will still try if they feel there's an opportunity or there's a way to it. They would cross that boundary.
You can't sleep in bed with a guy without officially wanting.
Believe it or not, some can. Some can.
Oh, okay, good. You cleaned that up good. I like that. I shouldn't be directing these questions to you. It's not fair to you. When I get out of order, just check, because I get out of order. I don't mean no harm though. But as you were talking about sex, I'm going to try to not interrupt.
Yes, I only say it because it could be thrown, that sex could be thrown around callously, not with your words like love or friendship, and people take out the content. But for sex, like I said, anybody can have it at any given time, and it don't mean anything. But then you get some people, and again, this is my opinion. I would categorize these people as selfish people who, under normal circumstances, if they've been their real self, they probably wouldn't get the time or they will get any kind of play because of what they're offering or bringing to the table. So they would have to manipulate the situation in order for the situation to turn favorable. And And, of course, we all know that a lot of that goes in the heterosexual community because why? Men will say anything to get with a female or, and I'm going to be street and going to be hood with it, to get the ass, to get the pussy, they would go through that.
I should ask the Love and Lunch show, RedzSpice, do women like soft guys? Guys who are not that hard. Do women like soft guys?
I say there's very few of them that are out there. I've learned.
Everybody can't be a dog. Everybody can't be hard.
No, that's true. But for some reason, a lot of women do tend to like the bad boy type. Of course, and then I won't say overly macho, but then they tend to be that because, in my opinion, they're overcompensating. If you can't be what you are original, like again, and of course in our community, and I'm talking about not the SGL. I'm actually talking about in our Black community. Period. In our culture, we tend to identify as, okay, you got to be hard and tough and you can't show no emotions. You can't be soft and stuff. And women like that type of stuff. And then vice versa. Somewhere along the lines, I think we taught our women or exposed them to the idea that that's what a real man is.
You know what's funny on that point right there? I just thought about yesterday. I was coming in and I was doing something. And it was, it was so funny. Because I've been around the block, this just made me laugh. You want to read some comments first?
No, nobody said nothing. Somebody said that the broadcast froze.
Oh, that's right. Because I don't know. I got it plugged in, but the battery went dead.
Oh, really? Oh, man.
Yeah, Facebook battery. Hold on, let me try to replug it. 1 second, because it's plugged in. Oh yeah, there it is. Ain't you talking because it's on the radio live?
All right. What was that thought though?
I want to tell a little story of what happened yesterday. I was going to tell a story, but you can keep going. All
right. But again, like I also want to preach to like I said, stop the hatred and the bashing. Like I said, from different people, and it goes for a lot of us. It's not just one particular type of person do it. Again, according to our community, whether you're masculine or feminine, we all have our issues, and like I said, we're not perfect. I mean, I could say myself the same way, but most people, I think when it comes time to having what you want, especially when it comes to sex, nobody wants to be rejected or told that they don't qualify for it. And like I said, I get it. The best I feel like I could do if I'm on the receiving end of that is I could be disappointed and get over it because I got too much confidence and self-worth within myself invested that why would I worry about what one person don't want or if they can't see the right thing? Maybe I wasn't meant for them. And, to be honest, sometimes I'm glad that I did get denied because it showed me I dodged a bullet. And to deal with that person, especially they high maintenance and they have so much things going for them, so much baggage, I'd rather not deal with it.
Well, to our that was a good point there. To our Facebook viewers, our battery on our camera just died on us. I don't know why it's plugged into the electricity. So we're still live on YouTube, right? No problem.
Yeah, YouTube is on.
We're still live on the radio. So I'm sorry about the Facebook. Facebook thingy. You okay on YouTube? Is okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's a little story that happened the other day. It's so funny. So in baseball, the length from the how you say the length? Next to the footage, call it the footage. Okay, from home plate to first base is 90 feet, I believe.
Yes, 90 feet up.
Yeah. So I'm probably 100 feet away from this thing that's going down, right? so
ground zero.
so I'm just around here. So one guy is on the bench, sitting down on the bench, and he's smoking, right? And then there's this other guy walking. They're not near each other. Like we're all probably 50 feet away from each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the back and I'm just minding my own business, but I just haven't observed this. So there was a cutie probably from the ages of, let's say, 22 to about 30, right? So he's dressed like you too. He works out in the gym, and he has his muscles showing, and he has like these basketball shorts, the long basketball shorts. Mm-hmm. So you probably can see right above his knee. You can see his what do you call that? Calf and all that.
Yeah,
you can see all that, and you can see that he has a nice physique because he works out in the gym, and the guy is sitting on the bench. So now the guy with the nice body who's walking is walking regular. Like we talking about hypermasculinity earlier.
Mm-hmm.
He's walking regular, and we're all walking. So one guy's sitting down. I'm walking, coming into the entrance. He's walking, coming wherever he's coming from, but we're all moving, right? Except for the guy sitting down. So as soon as he gets a little past the guy who's sitting down, because maybe the guy gave him a little wink or something, I don't know. He put a bop on. You know the guy put the little gel
the little hard, yeah.
I said, you're overcompensating. I mean, before you're just walking regular.
But why can't it be that maybe that person excited him that much that he had a moment?
No, I think the guy turned him off. The person, the person he was walking towards, right, wasn't their type. So in order for not to be, well, I shouldn't be assuming it might have been his type, and now he's purposely trying to attract more attention. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just observing. I mean, I've been around the block, so when I say I've been around the block, I've seen a lot. I'm not a whore, okay?
Don't get it twisted.
I've just seen a lot in my day, so I could put 2 and 2 together and equal 4. So the guy sitting down, puffing on a cigarette. The other guy walks past him, walking regular. As soon as he passes the guy, it's like saying, "Okay, come follow me. Come follow me." That's what it was like. I can't give you a ticket, but I put on this extra masculine walk. That means come follow me. So I didn't stay around.
I wouldn't know that. I would have missed that cue because I look for a little bit more. I mean, still subtle, but more, obvious. Where it's obvious to me in a sense.
No, the only reason why I noticed it, Rocky, because he changed his walk. At 1 minute he's walking regular. Like you ever see the old, the Columbia University guys, black guys go to Columbia and they don't walk with no bop, they walk regular. So he's walking regular, and I'm walking towards him. He's walking not towards me, but he's walking diagonally. We're all going in the same direction. And I'm going, oh, it's kind of cute, nice body. And then we get past the guy who's sitting on the bench, like, what happened? He just turned on the switch. I'm super hard. And there's nothing wrong with that. Either he wants the guy to follow him, or either he wants the guy, don't bother me. I'm straight. I'm hard. Don't even look at me. Because
it could be a little bit of both, but I'm getting it.
It made me laugh though. I seen it at the transition, whatever the word is. I seen it happen. Right in front of my eyeballs. It was funny.
Because I would say this: if I'm around somebody, male or female, and I'm attracted to them, like I wouldn't say I do things to overcompensate, but they get me to move a certain way that I normally wouldn't do. It is not to get their attention, but they excite me that much, so I do uncharacteristic things that would make But it's really for them and to show that I get a reaction from what they make me feel.
Okay. I was playing this Facebook and trying to get back up and running. Oh, there we go. Keep going. We're live on the radio.
All right. Yeah, I tend to do that because certain individuals incite me. It excites me to know that and especially if I have a strong possibility of thinking or knowing that, hey, that person might just be just as into me as I'm into them, then forget it. I'm willy-nilly now.
What's willy-nilly? What does that mean?
That means I'm gonna wild out. I'm gonna,
Oh, okay. Go with the flow.
I'm gonna go for the kill, not the flow. There ain't no flow. I mean, we already flow. We already have a vibe.
Okay, I'm tagging these people on there. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm trying to do something. I'm waiting for.
I think we're fixing the broadcast, so hopefully on Facebook we'll be, back up and running again.
Our electricity, I don't know what happened. It's plugged in.
Is it charging now or?
Yeah, it's on. I'm just making these tags. It says tag friends. I'm tagging friends. I don't know who I'm tagging. Might be all straight women I'm tagging. I don't know. Okay, you're back on. Oh, somebody wave to somebody. Is that Josh? Wave to that person. Okay. Oh, I tagged a few. I didn't tag everybody.
I see. And like I said, again, my shout outs go to Josh, man, because you brought up some pretty interesting things. But come on, I mean, I would definitely like to hear some other people. I mean, I see there's 28 people up in here. I mean, I'm sure everybody got things. I mean,
28? That's all we got? What's going on here?
But still, there's so many minds and so many ideas that's just sitting there, like where the questions? I mean,
that was easy.
Yeah, it definitely would be easy.
So going back to my questions earlier, it seems like to me, from listening to you for a week, it's like sex is a top priority. And my friend who was a Taurus, maybe Taurus are lovers or something. I don't know.
No, we are. We can be sexual deviants just like Scorpios. And Scorpios, in my opinion, are the only ones that can practically match my sex drive, I think. So hopefully, I'm I'm just putting out there, male or female. If you're a Scorpio, then I'm definitely highly interested.
So have you and a male? I'm gonna stick to your your same gender loving side. I'm not gonna delve into your bisexual side. So most of my topics would be about your escapades, I guess is the word, in terms of your same gender loving / gay life.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say lifestyle? Say life.
I say life. No.
So have you ever ran into a hot, gorgeous, whatever? Forget the gorgeous. A hot scorpion, whatever hot mean.
Lots of them. I had lots of connections with some of them, which was quite interesting and fascinating. I'm telling you, it was a show. We got callers.
I think that's California ready to take over.
Okay.
California.
It is that time. Well, we'll be back again next week.
You ready? That's 2 minutes from now. Okay, that's California calling in, ready to take over.
Yes, and I would definitely look forward to seeing you guys next week, and hopefully, I have some more feedback to know what it is, and definitely give me some ideas about whatever topics you guys like to hear about.
I'm gonna set up a Gmail for BU.
Yes, and I don't mind giving my personal case. People want to ask certain things or whatnot.
What, a dating service?
Oh no, I wouldn't quite that. It would be for the purpose of this and
okay, go on.
At DNA Radio, because like I said, I want to be the host, and I definitely want to be able to do things, entertain, and enlighten people who needs to who needs hope, inspiration, and hopefully we can help one another. We can help each other out because our community definitely needs that voice.
Okay, so I'm going to read this off again. BU on DNA Radio is a radio program to help, support, and uplift our brothers and sisters in the SGL, same gender loving, and DL communities. We are human beings who have a life, not a so-called lifestyle. BU is not a radio program that gives away any of our same gender loving or download intimate secrets within our community or anything of that nature. So please understand, we at BU are not trying to be a so-called superhead tell-all program. Furthermore, BU is not a gossip type program like TMZ, Wendy Williams, or PageSix, etc. But here at BU,
come to you in love, in peace and support.
Oh.
Well, yeah, that's not really written right correctly.
my own writing. What am I doing? Okay. Well, here we at BU come to you in love, peace, and support. That's how I'm supposed to say it. Okay. So thank you very much, Rock, aka Rockman.
Yes, I enjoy being your host. And again, to be true to yourself takes courage. It requires you to be introspective, sincere, open-minded, and fair. It doesn't mean that you have to be inconsiderate or disrespectful to others. It just means that you won't let no other person define you or make decisions for you that you should be making for yourself. And I want to say to my brothers and sisters, I want y'all to stay strong, stay positive, and try to do what you can to understand other people's walks in life, even if it's not something that you would do yourself or it's not your own.